verify that we are. I will mumble a little while I'm doing. Oh, yeah, sure enough, it came right up. Nice. Just want to make sure it's actually gonna. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so we got confirmation that this video going out on both places. Douche.
You laughing about what I said?
Yeah.
I'm sending this to douchebag, my good friend.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about him too.
That's good. All right, talk shit. I don't care. That's what we do. All right, so we're going to go live in just 1 minute if you're waiting. We'll be right there. Okay, got that. Don't need this open. This can go away. Quit. Discard. All right. Sorry for the inform. If you're not used to what I do here, and this is just the title, the yellow screen of preview. Let's just call it that. Be right there. It's been a long time since I've been on, so I have a feeling we're not going to have a big audience live, but maybe after the fact. They may not be.
We'll do this again in the near future, and I'll get hundreds on.
Nice. Excellent.
I will.
Excellent.
We'll
All right.
Hundreds going.
You ready? You ready to make some trouble?
Lock and load, brother.
All right.
Just let me know when to open fire.
All right. We're opening fire. Hello, and welcome to the Technocrat Live. I'm your host, Matthew Newhall, and this is my guest, Mark Mendoza, the animal of Twisted Sister, if you don't know, and also of Area 22.
Yes, Area 22.
Which I was on that network for a long time with this show.
Yeah, you still owe me a lot of money.
I know. You know, I please hold. Yeah, so thanks so much for coming on tonight.
It was a lot of fun, and we used to have a lot of fun doing the show at my old studio, and why not join you now? Because there's a lot of cool things to talk about.
There are,
Yes,
and
there is.
it is absolutely a crazy world out there, and for probably one of the most crazy things, right here, yeah. So it would be me. I'm pointing at myself. Yeah, you didn't misread that. It's me. I'm the crazy thing. And the past few months, I haven't done a show, and my show format's been all over the place. I've had a bunch of things, so I'm gonna, if you don't mind, Mark, I'm just gonna
go ahead and explain it.
Let people know what's going on. So I have decided I'm going on what I'm going to do for a format for the show. So every month, I'm going to try to do at least one 10-minute short. With some kind of philosophical idea or some kind of editorial, let's say, on the state of technology and how it's affecting society. I've done a few, so if you want to look them up, they're on my channel, either on YouTube or Odyssey. And also, every month, I'm going to do one dystopia report for the month. So I've decided not to do intros on...
Just one for the month?
Just one for the month.
All right.
And it's going to be less than an hour. Ideally, it'll be like 20 minutes. So
that would be ideally.
Ideally. There's actually there's more news than ever, so I'm going to have to get a little pickier. But what I may do, maybe I'll do a quickie section or something like that, just so I don't miss any of the big stories. I really like doing Dystopia Report, but I feel like I'd rather keep the interview content to just interviews with the current thing I'm saying accepted. So that's the next part. And, of course, every month I'm going to do at least one interview. But maybe not more than that. And I'm trying to kind of cut back a little bit. It looks like I may be facing the drudgery of a day job. So, which is...
Well, join the rest of the world.
Which means that I don't have infinite time anymore. So that is not what's been going on with me the past few months. I've kind of had a dark night of the soul. So, not necessarily a talking point or something I want to advertise, but it has been profound. And I really needed it. That's something I haven't done since I was a kid. And I've had an insane life, and some of it's been amazing, and some of it's been really bad, and there's good reasons for that. So, among other things, I managed to pull off a self-diagnosis after a lot of bunk diagnoses out there in the universe on something that's wrong with me. I probably will never be formally diagnosed because I don't need it, because I'm working on it. I got it sorted out. So
that's what he thinks.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, I got it sorted out, and everyone in the background's like, who's going to tell him? You want to tell him?
Yeah, right.
Do you think Mark will tell him? Mark will definitely tell him. Come on, I hope Mark calls him out. If you for somehow forgotten, we're in the Looter base here, and this is my one of the places I can broadcast from. So welcome, and what's going on with you? Enough about me.
I don't know. Your story is pretty big here. What you've been talking to me about.
Yeah, I mean, I have
really
basically I have complex PTSD. It's crazy.
Part of yeah. Well, we always knew that, but I have one good remedy for you right here.
Yes.
Coming up to the building here and coming up to your studio, there's a lot of steps.
Yeah.
How about if I just throw you down those steps?
So
you can forget about everything else in your life.
50-50 shot. I'm going to come out completely unscathed. Might end up dumber.
Not the way I do it.
Might end up smarter. Yeah. All depends.
No, not the way I throw you down the steps.
That's the other 25% it'll be better. 25% it'll be worse. I probably. I mean, it might do something about the butterface though. So that would be good. Just whack.
I got
whack,
a baseball
whack,
bat.
like
that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Look, life is full of opportunities. Don't miss them.
Yeah. Go after every single one.
This is when Mark and I go. It's more like the fuck around and find out show. So, and yes, we do curse on here. The only thing we don't do on here is politics. So, anyway, sorry. So, tell me, what's going on with your life?
A lot of things. Mostly good.
Okay.
Getting older. So that's the bad part. I have little things that creep up on you.
Stupid planet orbiting the stupid star.
Yeah, the stupid star.
Time. No
time. Yes.
Time not distorting.
Of course, but no, nothing seriously wrong with me except for in here. That's all, and everybody always knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on in music. A lot of things going on in acting, and a lot of things going on in writing music. And I guess we'll get to all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest surprise there is acting. What's up with acting, man?
I've been in the last, 8 months or so. I've been in 3 different independent films.
Wow, awesome!
Yeah, and I fell into it. I didn't even try.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
People would meet me. And
you do have
they meet me and they love my golden personality.
You have a beautiful voice. Like, I'm not even kidding about that. You really do.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You sound very.
It's a bit.
You said,
excuse me, because I did a whole bunch of voiceovers today, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you come across as very stately and seasoned. Seasoned but stately.
Seasoned.
Yes, you are seasoned. So don't underestimate seasoned, because without seasoned, you know what you sound like? A little flute. So
coming from that guy.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Go,
yeah. See, I know. Yeah. Yeah, so let us know if you're seasoned in the comments. I don't see anybody.
Nobody commenting?
No, we got some people poking their head in to see what's up, but nobody's commenting yet. I do take questions in line, although I do reserve the right, if it gets crazy, to ignore you.
Yeah,
because
if you got questions,
with
right
love.
In. Come on, right?
Yeah, right in if you got questions.
There's nothing going on.
I can see it
there.
I can see it. So,
except for our chat.
So, any particular? Was it acting? Like, are you physically walking out on stage? I mean, we kind of talked a little bit.
I'm
before.
not on a stage like in a theater. I'm in a couple of independent films.
Are you like a booth, or are you walking on? Or are you walking on camera?
I'm working into a scene.
You're walking into a scene. Oh, excellent!
A scene, a real scene in a. One was outdoors, the other 2 were indoors.
Nice.
In the middle of winter.
Oh, I thought you were doing voice work.
I am doing voice work.
Oh, you're doing both?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing everything.
So you're acting and doing voice work.
Everything.
Wow.
And playing ukulele.
Excellent. Really?
No. I have a
Did they give you a jumbo-sized ukulele?
It's about this big.
Okay.
No, actually, I do play ukulele, but not in a movie or anything.
Right.
Yes.
Ukulele's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I don't know why. Why is ukulele? Because it's like a little flute, except it's a string instrument.
No, it's a ukulele, not a flute.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Exactly. No, of course, I send the information how to watch the Technocrat live to my friends, and they're going, how do I find this?
Right.
You know, I give them the name of the show.
YouTube. YouTube's got to like dust it off right now because we haven't done a show in a few. I haven't done a show in a few months.
And they go, but how do I find it? it's
Google it, dude.
You know, when you think about that, all you hear is a little bit of wind blowing and some tumbleweed going by.
Yeah,
Just going inside the brain.
And you know, like, look,
and some couple of these people are very computer literate.
Right.
You know,
if you don't have,
it's easy to go put it in the search bar in YouTube and find it.
Well, all right,
and press play.
You know, this is
that's how you do it.
This is a good point. Like, people don't even like use search engines the same anymore. Like, people don't trust them. Like, how do I find it?
Yeah, but you're on YouTube and you're searching in YouTube.
Right, yeah.
Come on. It's not that difficult.
No. Just because I say they're searching in YouTube, they might be searching in the URL bar. They might be searching in Google. They might be searching on Yahoo.
It's the Technocrat Live, but
right.
It's just search for the video you want.
Right. They just go to the first.
It's that simple.
People just go to the first search bar they find. It's crazy.
And it's amazing how
I've seen
it.
I've done tech support.
Really?
I've seen it. Yeah, it is true. I've done it, but not usually. Yeah, usually I'm like, oh, search in YouTube. Okay, yeah, got it.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
it's amazing how. Yeah, it's just
So
I'm speechless about how people can't find this.
So I haven't seen any of your acting or I haven't heard your voice work, but I did hear a song.
You have heard my voice work.
I have heard.
You just don't recognize it.
I have, really.
Yeah, I'm not telling you. You're going to have to figure it out.
But I have heard a song that you helped produce and co-write, a Christmas song.
I'm your Christmas present. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a partner, Marla Adler, and she started the song. She wrote it many years ago, and she brought it back, and we kind of rewrote it and recorded all the music, and she did all the vocals because it needs a female singing it. But I produced it and made it really clean sounding, and it's kind of have you heard it?
I have heard it. It is amazing. Definitely go check it out.
Yes, and we're going to be releasing every month or so, every couple of months, we're going to be releasing more songs that we're working on.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're probably going to be working on some songs for some independent films.
Wow.
I'm talking to people about that now.
Oh, you're going to custom write songs for films, huh?
Absolutely. They love what they hear so far.
Yeah, I do a little, I like to do a little writing on the side, and I'll tell you, man, there's nothing more fulfilling than people giving you absolute chaotic garbage and then you turning it into poetry. You know?
I'm real good at that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I've heard a few of your songs.
Yeah, but my partner Marla is just genius. She's extremely talented, and she plays around in the area once in a while. Sometimes by herself, sometimes with another band. And the next time she plays out in the area, you will be invited.
Excellent. I want to come.
I expect you to show up.
Hell yeah! I was really into no kidding.
Don't make me hunt you down like the wild animal that you are.
How do I do this without becoming politically incorrect to you? But I am not blowing smoke up Mark's ass. This is a good song. Check it out. It's really good.
It's called
I don't do that.
I'm Your Christmas Present. Okay, look it up. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere.
It's
I'm
worth
Your
your
Christmas
time.
Present. And just to make it easy, you put in I'm Your Christmas Present, Mark Mendoza. I have a partner on it, so it's not just about me. It isn't.
Awesome.
What do you got there?
Check this out. So we got Jen says I'm poking.
Okay, so
and DJ Maria says, "Yo, what's up?"
Okay, so
a bass ukulele.
And you found it. Go up there. It says DJ Marla Joe.
Yeah.
That's my partner.
Get out of here. That's
her. She's watching.
Wow, yes. You were great.
Yeah,
I'm talking to the screen.
Not words, past tense.
You are great. It was really good. I was impressed. Definitely, people check it out. It's worth your time.
It is.
And is there? Does she have? What does she record? Does she have other albums or songs under the same name? Or
she has a bunch of things out already in the past. She's had some limited success with some of the music she's written. All great and incredible stuff, and we're going to put it right over the top this year. and released a bunch of songs and getting involved with a lot of writing music and songs for various things.
Excellent.
Yes, without a doubt. She's fantastic. She really is. When you see her live, you'll understand.
So, by the way, how am I doing? Am I doing okay as being a host and an engineer, as a person who can like accurately critique me, who's seen me just be a host?
Well, what they're not seeing is the mayhem that went on before we went on the air. It was like
the pre-show mayhem.
A curtain over there going, "Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain." Yeah, it was things flying all over the place and wires and cables.
I was just like a cranky old man, like, leave me alone, I'm working.
I thought I saw a modem fly across the room. There's wires hanging out of everything.
Yeah, like Mark's like, was that a modem noise? What the?
Yeah, really?
What are we in the 90s? What's happening right now?
Whatever it is, yeah. No, actually, you're doing a really good job.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, I told you I got a little. My concentration has gotten a little bit better from the self-work and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you definitely got a spacey concentration.
Oh, I'm always be space age,
really,
but you know,
I hadn't noticed.
Yeah,
but honestly, when you first came on my network, when Laura and I brought you on, you took advice and you used it, and you got a lot better very quickly.
Thanks.
Yeah, you really improved your show a lot. Yeah, the way you handled guests and keep watching the clock and paying attention to things.
You know what?
Well, it had to work because I was on the other side of the camera cursing at you.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, look, I was threatened with bodily harm, and it wasn't always. It couldn't really be
that bad.
It had to be. It couldn't be verbal. It had to be pantomime. So, like, like things flying across the room, and the usual kind of rock star mayhem that you
got
expect.
5 minutes, and I'm pulling the plug.
The big cane came out, the box of tomatoes. You know, it was off the hook.
No, but you did really well. You did. As soon as you said, okay, we're live, like tonight, and you calmed down completely.
Right.
Other than that, your hair was sticking straight out. I thought there was like 200 amps of electricity going through you. You sit on.
Shit.
Did you plug into where the welder gets plugged into or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, the funny thing is it went off just as quick. You know, it wasn't. You know what was really bugging me, and I didn't want to happen. And I don't want to happen in any show. And you don't want, if you're doing any kind of live show, you just don't want to waste people's time with trivial BS. Like, it just, like, oh, this is avoidable. And, like, I want to respect everyone's time and their intelligence and have them kind of, like, written in and synced in with the mood, the campfire talk here. So, you know. Like, and it's not going to happen if I'm like, oh, no, I can't. I mean, if it's a campfire, imagine how far back on the evolutionary chain you have to be to not be able to light a campfire. That's kind of what's happening.
It can be, but what you're saying right now, you know what? I think, what people are hearing as you're talking? They're just hearing.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay,
I apologize.
Actually not, but go ahead.
So that's great. I really want to go to a show. Let's get back on track.
We'll get you invited to when Marla, plays live.
All right, great. Thanks, I'd appreciate that. I can't wait.
Absolutely.
So you're working on that. What's going on? Do you have any? What are your plans for doing a show or something like that? Like, are you going to do your own interviews? Because Mark had his own show, 22 Now, on Area 22.
Area 22 Productions. I hope to be bringing that back sometime this year.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe even here.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk.
But I am on, and I do have another show.
That'd be so cool.
I do have another show that I'm involved with. It's not mine by myself. It is called A Rock in a Hard Place, and it is actually a show on a real FM radio station.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And that station is 94.3 The Shark.
94. Wait. Is that Rob?
That's Rob Rush.
Wow.
Absolutely. He's on the show.
That's like the local hard rock, heavy metal kind of station.
It's a great station. And also, there's 3 hosts. We're all co-hosts, if you want to call it that. And then my good friend Billy Mira is also on the show. And,
right.
We've done 2 so far, and it's working out great.
That's great. You guys have a crazy rapport.
Last Sunday, we were actually live. Was the first show. And we actually had Carmine Appice on with us.
Really?
You don't even know who it is.
Why am I blanking? I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess
Carmine Appice probably.
See, I know it had to go wrong.
Unfortunately, in your world, not, but probably one of the most well-known drummers in the rock world.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
what act is he known for?
Oh, he started out in Vanilla Fudge.
Ah, okay.
Cactus, played with Rod Stewart.
Okay.
Yeah, played
Cactus,
with
I know.
tons and tons of people. Yeah.
Vanilla Fudge, I don't know. I cannot remember a song by them, but
well,
Cactus,
they redid "You Keep Me Hanging On."
Oh.
They did a great rock version of that song.
Okay.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
All right, what's up, man?
Yeah. So Carmine was on with us, and he was in a band with recently departed Joey Sykes.
Okay.
No, John Sykes. Oh my God, I got to think about that. John Sykes,
yes,
who was in a band with Carmine Appice called Blue Murder.
Right.
But John Sykes was in Whitesnake.
Yeah. I know.
Whitesnake and Thin Lizzy and ton of bands. So Carmine.
He's Whitesnake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that album.
So Carmine is a great guy and an amazing talent, and he's gone. Died I think it was about 7 or 8 days ago. 65 years old from cancer.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Makes me angry.
It's horrible. So anyway,
when are we going to beat it already? I have done so many shows about how we're this close to beating it.
That's where his brain's at. So he just changes the subject matter.
Yeah.
Just like I'm in the middle of a conversation.
No, it's just fucking.
I'm going to have to gag him.
It's not seriously, like, it's not meant to be disrespect. It's meant to be fuck cancer. You know. That's
without a doubt. No, I'm not taking it as disrespectful. But so Carmine came on, and we had a great time with him. He's going to come back on in, I believe, in March, the end of February or March, and we're going to talk about his career, because I can ask him literally hundreds of questions, because I know all about his career, and I grew up listening to him and all the bands he was in, especially Vanilla Fudge, Cactus, and BBA, Beck, Bogart, and Appice.
Okay.
One of my favorite three-piece bands ever. You probably never heard of it. Oh, man. You don't know about rock music. You really don't know about rock music. Anyway,
no. Hold on a second.
No. What?
Well, I don't have a chance against you. First of all, you got that trivia brain. You know, like those people with the trivia brain, the ones who go on Jeopardy and win. You've got that brain, and you've got a few years on me. And you've been in the biz. You actually know these guys. We rub shoulders with them. I don't have a chance. As far as being able to out trivia you.
See,
all I can do is sit here and look dumbfounded while he talks.
If you're saying that and admitting to it, what you're doing is this, and what you need to do is this. Okay? And all your friends say that.
I know.
Okay?
I know.
Too much with the blah blah
I'm
blah.
listening. See, this is me listening. This is my listening face.
So let me just get through this real quickly. So Carmine came on, and we're going to bring him back on and spend a while with him talking about his career and the people he's played with, and I have a lot of respect for him. Also, he played with Tim Bogert, who was one of my favorite bass players of all times. The guy was just absolutely phenomenal on bass. One of my heroes. So this week, we just recorded the show the other day. We had we couldn't do it live this week, and we had Coffee Baker on. Now that is the son of Ginger Baker from Cream.
Okay,
ring a bell? Or you still don't know what that is?
Yeah, I think I do.
It's
actually.
not
Cream is. Yeah,
it's not skim milk. It's Cream.
I know Cream. Yeah,
okay.
I've covered songs.
We had, because God rest his soul, Ginger Baker passed away a few years ago.
Yeah.
And his son is now his son and Jack Bruce's son and another relative of theirs. They have a band called Sons of Cream.
Oh, I did not know that.
Exactly. So we had Coffee Baker on. His stories were great about his dad. Just his father's legendary, a pretty crazy guy coming through the music industry. He really has an insane reputation of being.
The Animals calling you crazy. You're crazy.
What's that? Oh yeah. I never met him. I wish I did, but I never got to meet those guys. But so we had him on. He's going to be on our show this week. But anyway, we'll get back to the other things and move on, because we have some more subject matter to talk about. Anyway, that show is called A Rock in a Hard Place.
And when's it on?
It's on Sunday evenings from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on a station here on Long Island called 94.3 The Shark. And anybody can stream it. You don't have to be within the listening area.
Right.
And we tell everybody to spread the word, because the show is funny. It gives you a lot of information, and it's all mostly about entertainment and music.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you think Mark and I have banter, you got to see Mark and Billy Murrah. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's and Rob Rush.
And Rob too.
Crazy.
Well, you and Rob have one relationship, and you and Billy have a totally different relationship.
It's a lot. It's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun. There's a lot of banter, and the show moves fast because it's a regular FM. What are you looking at?
I literally just got hit myself in the face with a microphone as we're talking.
And the microphone was stationary. Go figure that out.
I feel like Kramer. Like, sorry.
I'm not going to say that. Anyway, so that show is on the air, and I'm hoping to put my own show back on again, 22 Now on Area 22 Productions, in the near future. And,
okay. Great.
I'm just saying, we might do it from here.
All right. Yeah, that would be great.
I'm going to do that. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Awesome.
Looking to do it. Love doing it. Miss it a lot. And I know people around the world are constantly sending me messages and emails about when it's coming back on.
Yeah, I know who they are too. A lot of them watch my show too, and
They do. A lot of them. I tell them, you got to watch. You got to watch his show, man.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about being gone for a while, but I do intend to. It's like one of the things I was thinking about is like, do I want to keep doing this? Do I want to keep? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I like doing it. People have told me
you were getting an audience, and I would watch it and see what people said. You were gaining an audience for, and I'm not joking with you, a certain segment of the population that was very intelligent about the subject matter that you were talking about.
Yeah,
and it got nuts.
The technocracy.
Some people thought it was, I'm going to mention a name. Remember Professor Irwin Corey? No, he talked gibberish, but some people thought you were talking gibberish, and I said, no, it's all real.
It's technobabble.
Yeah, it's technobabble. But
yeah, well, I started citing sources on my news stories because people thought I was making it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is actually happening.
It's all real. Listen, I was in the studio when you were on my network, and I watched your show many times. And people that were there, a couple of people that were there, said, is that possible? I said, no, he's talking about something real. Absolutely.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, and I love doing it, and I love goofing around and being out there. And
you certainly do a good job. That I'm going to bring up a picture for you.
Okay.
Okay. We could show it on here, but it's not that important. I want to get a rise out of you about this.
Okay.
Okay. So give me a second here.
That's fine. And
keep talking.
Now's the time when So this is where it's valuable to be able to run my mouth while he can search through his phone, and so. Yeah, definitely tune back in. My commentaries, they're a little hard to follow, and they're scripted. My commentaries, my editorials, and I encourage questions. I understand that it's I have a whole set of scientific theories and things that go along with that, and I want to put it in simple terms, like I have a set of scientific theories I call SIVGene that are the basis of which is that human beings evolved from psychopaths, and that humans were all psychopaths, and then the empathy was actually a mutation that created civilization. And if you think that's deep, the stuff you can do with that is mind-boggling. Mix that up with technology, turning our lives upside down. I mean, it's Black Mirror out there. I just had my Linux group just had a company that's making EEG earbuds that can scan your brain while you're listening to audio. So that, and they give you feedback so that you can optimize your work. But I mean, the implications of what the things they can do with them. I mean, my suggestion, because I'm on the PTSD kick lately,
right,
was, hey, dudes, why not do a brain scan and try to figure out some precog patterns for someone who's a soldier who's on the battlefield who's at risk from PTSD, because maybe you can get early treatment that way, because that wasn't even possible till now.
Well.
But that's like if you ever watch Black Mirror, this is like, we're getting into really crazy territory where we may be like pre-crime and stuff like that. What's this? Let me see. I gotta see this.
Well, all right. So this is my friend's wife. Okay. And of course, you were familiar with the event of allegedly all of the drones flying around the New York area.
Oh, I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
Right? Well, we will.
That's exactly the kind of thing that's on Dystopia Report.
She took a picture of herself in this situation, and I don't think you can read it. I don't think you can read it, but it says, the caption says, "Hold my purse. Where are the drones? I've got this." And look where she's sitting.
That is a very big gun. That thing's shooting coke cans at least.
This is from a World War II anti-aircraft gun. It's called ACAX. You know, there were 2 shots. Bam, bam,
did you
bam,
hear what
bam,
was
bam.
on the news yesterday, like late last night? It turns out it would be friendly fire. It was actually national security people who had ordered the drone scans. It was our own drones. It was the United States government. We didn't know that until 2 days ago. Yeah, a lot of people are really pissed because the public was wondering for months.
What are they scanning? That's what we need to know. Why are we being probed?
Well, you know what the rumor was? The rumor was that they were searching for nuclear material, that there was some sort of potential terrorist attack, and they were searching for something. So that was the strong rumor that was floating around.
You think so?
Yeah, but I mean, people were like, "It's aliens, it's AI, it's a singularity, it's Skynet."
You know that I know stuff.
Yeah, I know you know this stuff.
I know stuff.
Mark knows stuff. He knows a thing or two.
Yeah.
And by the way, I appreciate it. Thank you, Jennifer, for she has her Matt to human translator handy. So that's good. You might need that. You can always throw it in a grok or something. What is Matt trying to say? And then here's actual words that humans use. Yeah. So
who knows what you try to say?
Yeah, it's useful for that.
Yeah.
So the question I have for you is, do you prefer songwriting or performing?
Both.
Which
I really do. I've been involved with songwriting my whole life, and I love writing and arranging. You know, hearing some music and it's just not in the right place. I love arranging music, but playing live is in my blood. It really is. And working with my partner like Marla, and I have another one which I'll talk about in a few minutes. But working with Marla it's a breeze. She's so great at this stuff, and she has such great ideas, and we could share stuff back and forth so well. That's how the Christmas song and a couple more songs that we're going to release in the next month or so come about, because we work so well together.
Nice.
Yeah,
you guys are still working in the studio and
oh yeah, absolutely. Constantly.
Excellent.
Well, we're not working for the next 2 weeks or so. She's away.
Okay.
Take a little bit of a break from the world.
Right.
Yeah.
But not too far.
No. She went to go shoot down some of the drones.
Yeah, that's worth it.
No, she's on a little bit of a break, which is good. She's with her family, and that's the best thing.
Well, like in the case where the drones went out, I kind of ruined it because I said the drones are ours. But like before we knew that, there was some people were debating, are aliens our friends? You
want to talk about drones? I'm all over the New York metropolitan area all the time.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
And there's people saying that they were seeing drones the size of an SUV.
Right.
So let's just say there are, and there could be, but that's not some kid in his backyard launching a drone. That's some $6 or $7 million drone, something.
Right. So
it's got to be the government.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So all right.
But remember, I know things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you do. 2 eyewitness accounts personally in my life. 1 degree of separation. So yeah, that definitely was happening. And
was that a rock band? 1 degree of separation.
I don't know. Maybe. I guess anybody pushed up against the stage, it's kind of true.
Right.
So like there was a couple people definitely saw them, and I was just the thing that people were talking about is really interesting is aliens. Like the debate that seemed to be kind of like 1 or 2 debates was going. One is it's AI and we're doomed, and there's really not much to debate or talk about. It's just like, are you going to be science fiction level paranoid or not? But aliens is the interesting one, because a lot of people are like, oh, if there are races of other beings from other worlds, they're here and they're, maybe they're friendly. And I like that people were actually debating, like, oh, are they going to be friendly? Well, maybe not. Like the day the Earth stood still kind of stuff.
Well, how about, you remember that movie with Rowdy Piper? And he had to put
They Live.
What was that called? They Live.
Right.
Those special sunglasses.
Yeah, they might not be our friends.
Yeah. Right. And what was the famous line when he walked into the bank with the sunglasses?
Oh yeah. What was it? I'm gonna shoot.
Come here to chew gum
and kick ass.
And he spits the gum out and goes, and I'm all out of gum.
Awesome. It's a great movie. Great movie, man.
But yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It really is. It's really incredible.
So actually, it's funny. I have another question on my list. I'm going to jump. See, this is the thing. I'm going to jump around. So, like, pop culture, this is something that, like, I think that this was a thing with Gen X and older, and less so with the millennials and Gen Z. Is it like a really big loss that we've, have a coherent pop culture? I mean, there is a common culture, but it seems to be like internet memes. How, like, different is that? Are we kind of screwed here, or, socially?
Does it really matter?
I mean, like,
it's going to go wherever it's got to go.
Well, right, but like, if I quote Ghostbusters, almost everyone knows that line that I'm quoting from Ghostbusters. If it's like one of the top 10 quotes, but like memes, some people see it, some people don't. So like, there's like kind of like there's more segmentation. There's more fragmentation socially. So I mean, like, is it like a big loss that we don't have a coherent, language, that's unique to each.
But you look, you go through time and you look at the generations that have been around, especially before you and me, and how, for the most part, the music and the thought process didn't jive with each generation. Mm-hmm. But when you get older, you understand. When you look back and you go, that's someone that's really cool. I mean, I grew up, I think, a little bit more unique musically than most of my friends, because I learned about a lot of music before I was into rock music. Like, my parents were dancing at home to swing,
right,
to the big band stuff. And
right.
I now realize that I've gotten a lot of rhythm the way I play because of swing music.
Right.
And 50s, like Little Richard.
Even if you can't necessarily share that in its native format, it still comes out in the other things you do.
And people have recognized it and told me, that's some swing era of bass playing. And
yeah.
I'm like, wow, I never thought of it, but yeah, you're right.
Right.
Because it sticks with you. When you're a kid, you're a sponge.
I have a crazy off-the-wall question. Have you ever played like a stand-up bass? Like,
yeah, I play stand-up.
But have you ever played it like a bass guitar, like just strung it around you, or like put it on your lap?
As a joke, I have, yes.
As a joke, you have.
Yeah.
Can you actually do it?
Well, yeah.
It seems like you're big enough that you could do it.
It's pretty big. A full-size doghouse is a big instrument, right? It's actually with the spike out. It's actually taller than me.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
6'2", and it's taller than me.
Right.
Yeah, the headstock is.
But you perform live with them. I think I knew that already, but maybe the people out there don't. So
yeah,
you
I love
provide one.
I love a doghouse. I don't own one, but I do have an electric, which is like a big canoe paddle, if you want to say that. It has a small body to it, but it's the full size.
Right.
Yeah,
same sound.
It's same sound. Plug it in.
Nice.
Plug it in.
Excellent. Let's see. No
what
more
do we
comments.
got?
Nothing. No more. But we got more people on. So yeah, keep letting people know and have them keep tuning in. So hopefully we can get this with questions.
There's still people asking me, how do I find your show?
If the question isn't absurd, I don't care if it's dirty. But if the question isn't absurd, I'll totally ask Mark. So please, hit us up. So, like, I have a question for you, and it's actually a practical one. So, like, for people who are getting into music, what is the clearest path, like the least amount of time or money spent to copywriting, securing your copyright for lyrics, for sheet music, for recordings? Like, what is the thing that starting musicians need to do to get this to happen for them, so they can say, this is mine and no one can take it?
To that point, you got to learn how to play something to write them.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, so you got to start with something.
Well, you could technically just fart and it's copyright.
Well, you could, but if you want to write a song and you
it.
want it to go someplace, it's got to have some substance to it.
Right, absolutely.
You got to have something.
Right.
I got a friend of mine who's brilliant in the studio, and he sent me a song last year. I wrote this song, and it's got this kind of very synthesized soundtrack to it, and then the music stops, and he goes, coffee, and the music comes back in. So the lyrics of the song is the word coffee like 15 times, right? He goes, yep, Okay then, man. Good. So that's a song.
It's happening!
He copywrote that song, and
you know what? Because coffee does not have enough fans. It needs to have some more fans. You need to promote it. You need to get it out.
It's so funny how there's this whole synthesized, very, very mechanical sounding soundtrack, and it just goes.
I mean, I want to like it, but I'm not sure that's going to work.
But he's a great guy. He's a nutcase. Another one that should be on this show. He'll fit right in.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love nutcases.
It sounds like
the weirder you are.
Like listening to Professor Erwin Corey from the John Carson show.
We've had a few shows on here, and I think I've actually talked about this. One of the recent editorials. I actually forget which one. I talked about this. The idea of technically. I remember what it was. So this is actually copyright law is going to be coming under some serious review. So, having people who can advocate for its best uses and using it is going to be important because, I mean, one of the things that's happening with AI is that, everything's copyrighted. That's the way copyright law works, at least in the United States. I'm not sure internationally. I think it's similar because a lot of it originates from British copyright law. That's where they were the ones who were doing it first. Yeah, the problem is it was never a problem before that everything was copyrighted because most things didn't have value. And when you're talking about legally, if you want to sue somebody, you have to prove there was financial harm. And if you just crumple up a napkin and throw it on the floor, the value of the uniqueness of the napkin is zero. So there is no case.
Well, I'm going to copyright this.
Right, exactly. But here's the thing: in the AI world, one of the things that you start getting into a world where you need increasingly more entropy, and you also need increasingly, and also the data, because you can do massive processing on trivial amounts of data. Now we're getting into a world where the data itself is valuable. So maybe default copyright won't be possible anymore because it'll be too easy for people to sue data miners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
this is going to affect musicians.
Well, it's going to affect a lot of people because I particularly know, I can't mention names, a voiceover guy that I know. Mm-hmm. He just licensed his voice to AI production.
Oh, interesting.
So he doesn't have to do the work anymore. He gets a percentage of the royalties when they use his voice.
Nice.
Let me ask you a question. Is that good or bad?
Well, it's terrible for branding. Marketing people are going, they're hearing that noise you made with the bottle.
Exactly.
Right. But for, a passive revenue stream, that's awesome. But, at what price,
Exactly. So the problem
because those are really the two financial aspects of copyright is on the one, you have a brand, and you can use the copyright to defend your brand. On the other hand, you have the content and getting your cut on the content, and they're opposed. They have different needs.
Without a doubt, completely different. And you look at someone like, let's say, Bruce Willis. Mm-hmm. How he's in pretty bad physical condition,
right?
Because of the ailment he has, and so I read a story recently where he's thinking about licensing his brand, where people can use his persona and his voice to still be in movies and shows.
So people may not know this, but if you're not a fan of Black Mirror, there was the most recent season, so I think it was a year and a half ago. You'll know because you can just look up the writer's strike. If you remember, There was a big AI writer's strike.
Right.
That was an episode with Salma Hayek of Black Mirror that caused that. And it was basically they were in VR and there were all these licensed stars and everyone's like, what's happening? Is this real? Are you really? And apparently that actually in the real world imitating art created a fervor and people and so much so that the actors struck and they said, no, you can't just blanket get the rights to our persona.
No, I get it completely. It's so funny. It's ironic that I don't know, about a month and a half ago I had a very small part in an independent film called AI. It was a short film. It wasn't a long hour and a half complete movie. It was a short film, and it's interesting because in the movie, the lines between AI and reality got blurred, and somebody actually was able to be taken out of AI and was a character in real life. At what point could that happen?
Yeah. Well,
right.
When do you think it would happen?
Not in our lifetime.
Yeah. Oh no.
You need something like Beam Me Up Scotty there, a transporter, to get you out of AI to come into real life. I mean, how do you do that?
Right. Well, no. Hold on a second.
I mean,
AI could theoretically be anywhere that there's a chip and enough RAM.
Right.
You know.
But still, a hologram.
Right.
A hologram that could reach out and touch you.
Right.
That's.
Well, that's all right. So the holodeck kind of physical interface part is not going to happen.
No. Not now. Not in our lifetime.
Yeah. That's. We
don't have a computer.
It would be so great to have a holodeck, but no, I think that's one of the Star Trek things that we're not is too far off. Yeah, but I don't know. I
mean, so what? So let's just say you're working with AI and you got the AI goggles on and everything, and it gets so intense that you're completely, enveloped by that whole thing, and they could make you brainwash you or do something. It's some people you can brainwash pretty easily by certain things.
Well, I mean, it's getting more and more dangerous.
Exactly.
Dangerous. Yeah, I see that. Sure. I can. Well,
sure.
we're getting. I mean, the brain science research that's come out in the past 10 or 15 years is pretty spectacular, and it's funny. Like people don't. I strongly recommend, if you haven't seen it, that you check out a show called The Century of the Self.
Yep.
Which is a British documentary from. I'm going to turn myself up a little. Apparently, I'm a little too low.
You think so?
Yeah, apparently. Let us know if Mark is too low or if that actually fixed it. I hope it did. The Century of the Self it's originally about Freud and Edward Bernays. But Edward Bernays is like the father of marketing, if you don't know.
Yes.
But when things really went sideways was with the advent of the superconductor and the microcomputer, because now you could compile large amounts of data about people, and you could start statistically weaponizing marketing against people, which sounds like gobbledygook, but it's really in the past it was always kind of. There was always a human involved, and it was always marginal. In other words, like you could fight averages of people, but you couldn't target individual people. Now you've got companies spending billions of dollars on the addictiveness of the algorithms of like TikTok. All they do is focus on the addictiveness of their videos.
Yes.
Yeah, and getting you to just stay on TikTok. And they all do it, like Facebook, X, whatever it is. They YouTube. They're trying to get you to stay hooked on, and that's one of the reasons I want to have. I never want to give up on long form interviews, because I think that this is a way to break the spell a little bit. I hope.
Well, you're informing people. Your show was very informative, and to a point where if people listened and actually thought about it, they could break their bad habit for doing things like that. Mm-hmm. Like put a time limit on how much you play on TikTok or you watch YouTube.
Well, right.
I know it's some great stuff out there, but I know some people that like retired and sit watching every YouTube video they can find about anything, and the same thing on TikTok. Mm-hmm. It's funny stuff, it's great stuff, but at some point or another you got to be able to function like a person and go do things.
Right. So I think that I agree. Most people do that. I think maybe something that was more goal oriented would work better. Like instead of being time limited, like people, if you set a timer or you set a clock, you're just gonna feel assuming that you're not just doing looking at videos that are just goofy and have no value. Like I like looking at educational stuff. I want to learn, so I'm like trying to seek out the experts who know about something really well, whether they're self-made or accredited, whatever it is, and are sharing details about how something works. But like so if I try to timeshare myself on that, I would just be angry. I'd just be frustrated. Like I'd be absolutely in 100% conflict with myself because I was learning something useful here. But I think in the case where you're watching something, everyone's going to claim they're watching something useful. That's how does someone know that what they're doing isn't recreational? When do you switch over from information to recreational?
Well, I mean, for me, I have my own reasons for doing whatever I'm doing, and
right.
It's. I have two friends that have retired in the last couple of years from their regular jobs, and both of them, until recently, would wake up and just stay in their sweats or pajamas with a robe on and watch YouTube videos all day. I mean, that's a little severe now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you may have worked hard in life, and for 25,
I've never done
years.
that. Yeah.
No, not of course, right? So, but me,
I've totally done that.
I won't do it when I wake up, but when I come home after a long day in the studio or playing a gig,
there you
a little
go.
bit.
Yeah.
Then I'll put it on and I'll watch. Some of my favorite shows like 2.5 Men or something like that, because now I don't want to think about something. I want to laugh,
right,
and unwind and decompress, and that's what I use it for.
Right. So you can't be going at 110% all the time because otherwise you go.
I couldn't wake up in the morning or however early or late in the morning I wake up because of the night before and start watching TV or videos.
Right.
I can't do it unless it's something that I need to watch for something I'm working on or go over a song or something like that. Like Marla and I would quite often listen.
So in a way,
together.
It's a little convoluted, but you're kind of saying what I was saying. Really, the way to beat the addiction, the better way to beat the addiction. I'm not saying it's easy, but the better way is to be goal oriented. You have a purpose for watching a thing, and then you're done. Once the purpose is achieved, or maybe when you have to triage, you say, okay, I'm just not getting there. I'm not learning what I needed to learn.
Yeah, I can't waste time just watching.
Or my purpose is to relax. So
yeah,
I give it.
I said, the end of the day.
I'm vegged out. Now
I'll watch a couple of funny TikTok things. Actually, a friend of mine sent me this link to a video on YouTube, which it's just freaking hilarious. I mean, I'm sure there's so many things I so rarely watch. Something that's not something I have to or want to watch to learn about something. But there's a couple on YouTube, and all they do is they live in this beautiful home. They got a couple of kids, a couple of really big dogs, and all they do is do pranks on each other, like especially with water balloons.
Right.
With shaving cream in them. So it's a white splatter, and his poor wife really is getting beat up. I mean,
I think it's some shorts like this.
Oh man, it is so. And listening to them laugh.
Right.
Laughing is contagious, and I'm like, so I actually sat down. I think it was like 4 or 5 nights ago when I came in. I said, well, let me look at this link that someone sent me, and I know it's a good link.
Right.
I get it from my friend, and I start watching this, and I'm laughing out loud like I'm watching a really good sitcom like 2.5 Men, and I'm looking at this, and this poor girl, she's getting them back a bit, but she gets destroyed. And I can't believe how much they're messing up this beautiful house, and they videos of them cleaning it up, right? not only with these water balloons full of shaving cream and water and blowing them up, they splatter all over the place. So it's incredible.
It's like I knew you were going to go there. It's so weird. So like when people are being brutal with each other like that, like let's get out of the conversation about the videos and what they do to us, but like the people in the video. They're of course they're doing performance, right? They set up a camera.
Oh yeah.
Performance. Right. But like there's a little bit of truth in that. They really want to do.
You could tell there's plenty of.
They really want to do this to each other.
They have the big tube, the poppers that you pull it goes pop, and all the confetti comes out of it and stuff. Oh yeah.
So how important is it for people to like brutalize each other like that, to rib each other like that?
I don't know. Ask some of my. Friends and girlfriends.
Mark doesn't rib anyone. No.
I brutalized everybody.
Well,
and my friends, of course.
Well, all right. Look. I'm not gonna say for sure it's funny. Like, so I was belly laughing in my car. I don't remember which time it was on Area 22. On 22 now, when you had all of TS on, you guys were talking about you guys.
Well, that is
ripping each other backstage, and I was belly laughing.
I was, and you didn't see all of it. I mean, because there's a lot of things we just won't discuss on camera.
I can only imagine.
But that being in TS and hanging out with the guys, I was in a band with 4 of the funniest MFers that I ever met in my life.
Right.
You know, without a doubt. And our comedy was so brutal, and our backstage and our dressing room was so out of control, and nobody wanted to come in it because you walked in. And you were physically.
You're as good as dead.
you were abused. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It really was.
So what was really going on there? Like, I mean, like was everybody blowing off steam because of the stress of being on the road and you know having to get along with the high pressure stress of being in a business together?
No, that's how
people forget.
Are.
Yeah, it's just how you. Oh, so even when there was no stakes,
there was no stakes. I mean, just. We could be in a tour bus, the 5 of us, and it gets out of control right away.
Well, so this is this is like a culture clash happening right now. And actually, I just posted a thing about it.
Well, you got to,
but like a lot of people
with it, and you got to have really thick skin around this bunch of people.
You guys are like next level, next level, right? You know, with
you want to put next in there, about 10 of them.
Yeah,
next.
yeah. Just assume there's a lot of nexts after that, which would take up weight. I might be hypnotizing you, which might
existence.
It's a crazy existence, right? But a lot of people are like the culture out there is like people are super triggered. It's they're triggered by everything that happens to them, and when they get triggered, they make it everyone else's problem. But like really trivial stuff, like forget all the nexts. Work like how I conduct myself on the show and like, you know, talking seriously, but like dial it backwards another 3 or 4 next. And that's offensive. And it's like, how am I even supposed to have a conversation about the world and what's okay and joke around? I mean, is it more important to get people, is the value in it to get people to communicate with each other and become more tight in the face of a crazy world? Is the value in it to get people to not get triggered by every little thing that happens? Is the value, because this is something that like Gen X is particularly famous for. Like you could just kick the shit out of us. We're like whatever, you know, and as time went on, people got more and more sensitive, and it's definitely oversensitive because that's part of what's driving cancel culture, you know, and I feel bad, not just for the people who get canceled, but the people who are doing the canceling. Like, you realize you're setting up an environment where you're not safe either, you know? Where you can't even joke around or make a flub or anything like that. You see what I'm saying?
Around, like I said, well, unfortunately, AJ is gone, but he's part of that menagerie of comedy.
Right.
And it was really insane, and nobody took anything to heart. I mean, if you opened your mouth, you got to expect to have it come back at you.
Right,
and
right.
You did.
Yeah.
The exchanges were brutal. I mean, and again, we were crying, laughing. I mean, there was a couple of legendary, you know, rides or travels when we weren't like in an airplane or sometimes in an airplane together.
Right.
And you know, the stuff started happening. The slapstick comedy and humor started happening. People on the plane are crying and laughing, but again, we're keeping it pretty clean and stuff.
Right. So like, all right. So actually, this is good. This is like, I didn't plan on going here, but this is like a good conversation. So there are some famous acts out there, some musical groups or musicians in particular, that like, you know, are super sensitive. If anything goes wrong in their world, in their environment, with the people around them, their audience, their show, their equipment, you know. Like you've joked around about like you hated one of your light guys because he wasn't doing a good job. You know, right.
He took it.
But like some people would just quit the show, or they wouldn't even go out in the first place. Why didn't you fire that guy? I'm not going out there. You know, so like of course the losers in that case are the audience. But this is like a bigger cultural problem. Like, is this? You know, this is playing out with everyone on the street now.
So, but
that kind of conflict.
I don't think there's a lot of people around, except for maybe some real serious comedians that could handle that kind of thing and come back from it.
So it's a scale. There's definitely a limit for most people.
For us, there was no limit. I'm telling you, there was no limit. In TS, in Twisted Sister, there was no limit.
Why does that make me happy? What is wrong with me? Anyway,
we had a great time, and nobody was insulted by this stuff.
Yeah,
nobody. But I don't think you could do that with a lot of regular people around, in your lives.
Right.
It's tough. I mean, I realized that sometimes I would come home after being on the road, and even though I'm an abrasive person at times, I had to dial it back with the regular people in my life. They couldn't.
Oh, okay. So you do have to dial it.
I could see that. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I really
right.
don't want to hurt anybody. Well, there's a couple people I'd like to hurt, but I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And you got sometimes you have to dial stuff back. You can't just be like that all the time. What's making noise here?
I don't know. What? Some geek news. Something's gone terribly wrong out there. Yeah. People are constantly feeding me dystopian report stories. So.
But you can't do that with everybody around you. I have people around me that can't handle that stuff, and you don't do it. But God forbid somebody really goes after me or says something, and I go after them. And you shouldn't have. You drew first blood.
Yeah.
I just filleted you.
Well, so okay. So that's actually first blood's a good example. Like, when someone draws first blood, they're kind of saying, okay, these are the rules of engagement. Right? And then if let's say you could see that like they're screwed up, like they're dysregulated by you making a joke at that level, so you dial it back. The problem with people who become this is my take. This is something like I'm recently working on. The problem with someone who becomes triggered too easily, if they become triggered and they dial and they tune out at that point, they didn't even give the person they're interacting with the chance to get the feedback to go, okay, I got to back off on this guy. He's too sensitive. She's too sensitive.
Not everybody can realize to back off. I mean, you're making me think about this stuff. I never thought about it like this.
Right.
I just know that I'm
not trying to like.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I won't do anything to you.
Okay. All right. You make me nervous. I'm sure people see I let you beat on me. I think it's like
you're not giving me permission. I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah, he does what he wants to do, and he'll do this, and then I mean the truth is like it's first of all it's funny. B, I don't want anyone to think I'm awesome. I don't, but not in a bad way. Like I can't. And it's funny. But also, D, like 10% of it's true. Like I gotta
I know,
watch
but a lot of people don't want to face the truth. And then do I want everybody talking about my interpersonal feelings? That's why I don't share much.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have a lot of ammunition on me.
Right.
But again, I've never really thought about it this deep. I mean, as far as the guys in TS, we haven't been around each other for a lot. The last few years. Not that we don't want to, just we're not touring anymore, we're not playing live. That's what brought us together. But we still talk. We're all friends.
Right? No, one of the things is bringing this up, and I mean, like the reason this is interesting. One of the reasons this is interesting, and this is like in the forefront, like people can't stop talking about it, is LLMs, which is like the key name for AI, and what they do, and I've actually cornered like a couple of the AIs I've interacted with, and like, okay, is there a blacklist of things that you can't talk about or topics you can't talk about? And it actually will, and yes, it admits it, there is, and it affects its answers. Sometimes it makes it inaccurate, when you're interacting with these things.
Okay, so a very good friend of mine has a business. He's a mechanic. He's a one-man show.
Right.
He's great. He's a very good friend of mine. And just about every Thursday at his shop, his friends and a whole bunch of old-timers, they're all older than me, that's for sure.
I can only imagine the conversation there.
And they show up, and they're funny guys, don't get me wrong. But I walk in the middle of the stand, drop like huge compression bombs. But he looks at me like, whoa, that was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to tone it down a little. Nobody asked me. They're all laughing, believe me. And they're funny guys.
Right.
They're not wimps. They're not wimps at all.
Right.
Guys who are all in the military and some rough times in life. But I walk in there and drop. They say I walk in on weaponized.
I'm Team Gran Torino. Like, even though I talk like a nerd, because I have to be able to switch gears when I'm dealing with different people.
You know, it's so weird because I've really talked about this stuff before.
Right, but like,
think about it.
I'm sorry.
I don't mind.
Now you're in there. Now you're in it.
It's just, you know,
You see the movie Gran Torino?
Of course.
Yeah. I'm Team Gran Torino. You know, like, just, get off my lawn. You know, like I get that. But at the same time, I understand why people, you know, I try to, like, read when people are, when they can't take it. But the thing is, I'm not worried about hurting them. I am worried about that, but not really worried about it. I actually feel bad for them because they're missing out. There's something that they're missing out on.
You can't, I would say you really can't look at it that way because not everybody's built the same.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, whether it's just mentally, it's just
hot dog down the hallway, you know, pearls before swine. They just can't. It's just going to hurt them.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't go through life insulting and hurting people.
Right.
You know, because at some point or another, you're going to say something wrong to the wrong person.
Right.
You're going to suffer for it.
Right. Yeah. Or like the show. Ever see the show House?
Yeah.
You know, like House is so for some bizarre reason you've been living under a rock. House is a doctor, and he's like the most competent doctor in the hospital. He's also a raging asshole, and you know, and the two of them kind of go together, and this is where the show explores when it works for him or when it doesn't. And like he does that, I think it was the third season. I'm not gonna spoil it, but he pisses a cop off. You know, he does it to a cop, and the cop goes, "Oh no!" And the cop does it back to him, but with the legal system, and it's ugly. So yeah, completely. As a like, but that's not. But even if you're not getting blowback in your life, that's the kind of thing that can happen.
I mean, unless somebody does something horrible to you, do you really want to go around, you know, hurting someone mentally or verbally or physically?
Oh no! I usually
joke with a lot of people.
I come in like a lamb with most people. Right. That's actually one of the great things about when we're together is that we can like, all right, let's see what.
And I'll be around a whole bunch, but you know, it's all fun.
Right. I love the mosh pit. You know,
you got to be careful. It's like sometimes, you know, I of course everyone knows who I am, but I'm pretty low key about it. You know that. I mean, I'll do regular things and show up for your group and hang out with the guys. And
you're quite civilized, so.
Well, you know, I'm pretty funny with them at times.
That's where you start anyway.
My charming personality comes out. But you got to go through it. You just can't be like that in every situation.
No, great.
You want to because you hear silly things and you want to comment on it, but sometimes you just can't.
Is that what drives it for you? Just you want to get everybody laughing. You want everybody to be in that space where they're laughing together.
I'm really not the class clown. I'm not the stand-up comedian at all. But you go through life and you learn a lot of things. You learn a lot about people and what you can and can't do, or what you want to do and what you shouldn't do. And do I really want to? The only thing I like doing...
Laughter's pain. Mark Twain was right. Laughter's pain.
Honestly, the only thing I like doing when it comes to some of this stuff is when I see a bully.
Yeah.
I like to bully the bully.
Yeah, I love that shit.
I mean, I went through life pretty much doing that.
Yeah.
I watch you picking on someone who can't stand up for themselves.
Give us a shout out. That's your thing.
Now you got to deal with me.
Yeah.
It's not going to be nice. Not going to be pleasant.
Okay.
You know, that I like.
I am vengeance.
My radar dish is off. I'm ready to go.
Wait, I've never seen Batman and Mark in the same place. Oh, maybe.
But that's the only time. I mean, I other than, you know, bullying the bully who's picking on someone and it's getting really nasty. You know.
Right.
Yeah, so
I've heard a couple stories from you like that. Yeah. Where like physical bullying, where you had to like.
Right, or someone who really wants to bother me.
Don't give me down. I don't want to do something to you.
There's some things I can't talk about. Yeah.
That's a need to know only. Yeah.
There's no need to know.
All right, so you talk about your mechanic friend.
Right.
So actually, I had an easy question. Let's make it a little lighter. So vehicles. Like, what is your? I know you're a car guy. You've got a car, of course, you have a driver's license. You have a motorcycle license. You have a CPL. You're all about the vehicles.
I have a spacecraft license.
You have a spacecraft license too? That's pretty cool. I'm going to confirm that later, but not right now, because of course we don't want anyone doxing.
With this.
What vehicles? Like, what kind of, like, what's your go-to car? Like, so, like, what's the vehicle that, like, you don't have but you wish you could? You know, that you want to cruise around. You know.
What do I wish I could have?
Yeah, like what is the thing that, like you know, maybe not.
I wish I could have all of the hot rod cars that I've owned in my life.
Wow, I get that.
I'm a fool for selling them.
You already made the good choices, but now you miss them.
I don't know. I've owned probably 3 different original Challengers. You know, early 70s. I owned 4 different Camaros, 4 different Corvettes, all from the late 50s and early 60s.
Nice.
All original stock 66 GTO. I can't believe I stole these cars.
The GTO, man. Holy shit.
I had an original 442.
Were these like new purchases, or did you get them?
No, I bought them when they were just a couple of years old. They were
right, lightly used. That's how you go.
Oh, yeah. And back then you could buy these cars for $3,000 to $4,000.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I used to drive a 66 Impala. You can't, like, get that for less than $6,000 now. It's like $1,000.
I mean,
that beat up.
One of my challenges, if I had it in original mint condition, that was when
I
sold it, is now like a $350,000 car.
Yeah.
And like I sold it many years ago.
Yeah, late 60s, early 70s, peak muscle cars in top original condition, they were $250,000.
Easily.
Yeah.
And I had a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
A whole bunch.
Nice.
Yeah,
that was something.
That's what I would go back to.
Right.
Keep all this new stuff.
So the machine, that's a great answer, by the way. The machine that you've owned in the past, but you sold or moved on from, and like, man, I missed that car. Like I brought up one of my old cars. Like for me, like recently, I didn't understand the history of like the Tommaso Pantera. I see that now. I'm like, man, that would be great to own one of those. But you know, like,
don't get me wrong, I like some of the newer stuff. Like I love Mustangs all the way through, Camaros all the way through,
like the GNX, like that would have been a great one.
Some of the imports,
like the original Marauder X. You know, like, oh my God, holy cow! I love those the fastback Mach 1 Mustangs.
Were you expecting that answer?
No, I wasn't expecting that.
I stumped you once before. You asked me a question was on your show when you were on my network.
Yeah.
Do you remember the question?
I don't know.
I gave you a great answer. You go, that's amazing. I've never had someone say that to me before.
No.
You want me to?
Recap, man. Recap.
So the question that you asked me is, right now, if you could have dinner with anyone from any period of time, sit across the table and talk to them, who would you want to do that with? Do you remember my answer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was... You complimented me on that question. I remember.
And I gave you the answer right away. I didn't have to think about it.
I do actually.
You said anybody.
Your parents, right?
Yeah, I said my parents.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I got it.
Grandparents. Yes, absolutely.
That's great. I was expecting like Elvis.
Or George Washington.
George Washington. I got Alexander the Great. Whatever.
The Great, or
Genghis Khan seems like fun. I bet it would be fun.
Yeah. So
he would definitely talk shop.
That was a great question. That was just like this one about the cards. That was a great question.
Yeah.
That was a great question. Because you asked that to a lot of guests on your show. If you could have dinner with anyone at any time.
No.
Albert Einstein.
I've only asked like 2 or 3 times.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
that was a kind of a custom mark question because I was like, I wanted to get. I was like, I'm going to ask this. Like when I'm coming up with questions for you, I'm like this. There's a few things. Your curiosity, my curiosity, and their curiosity. So when I feel like that one was like
them in there.
Hi, you're in there. I can see you.
In there.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
Yeah. So I feel like that's when I hit it out of the park, when I can find something that's all three. You know, that's good business, right? You know, like it's good for you, it's good for me, it's good for them.
Without a doubt. What else we got there?
So the thing I wanted to talk about, and this is now getting heavy again. Sorry about that.
So what are we going to do? Put our heels together 3 times and go, there's no like the dystopia report?
The threats to music. So this is kind of where I was going a little bit before.
Threats to music?
Threats to music. So, look, I got to tell you, man, like what I'm seeing out there, when I see these random ads from you know the bars out there and the venues, you know, small to mid-size, it's half of the bands are cover bands. They're just recapping either one or multiple bands with music, and I think that there's a reason why specifically, which is that, well, there's probably a few reasons why. I want to talk about the reasons why and what it means. So, there was a thing I saw on Rick Beato, and I brought it up on my show, but I don't think I brought it up with you. Maybe I did. But Rick Beato just did a thing recently, like 4 months ago, where he got into more detail. So I definitely haven't brought that up here, which is that the past 5 years, only 3 weeks of the #1 position have been bands. It's all solo artists and duets, you know, and what's up with that? I mean, you know, like, and it's less than 1% of the charts, like the top 500 charts, is bands. It's all like one-off acts. So I've got a few ideas I'm going to throw out there and then go where you want to go with it. So it could be, you know, one is, you know, I think the surge of cover bands is a symptom of the fact that there aren't any bands, and people want bands. They don't just want solo acts. So I see this as a problem. It isn't, you know, like some people are like, oh, it's evolution. I'm not so sure, because why are all these old bands so popular? It isn't just nostalgia, because I remember when you went to, like, in the late 80s and the early 90s, when you went to a 70s nostalgia show, the people there were the people who were young in the 70s. Now you go to an 80s nostalgia show and it's everybody. Yes, there's more extras than other people. There's other people, like a lot of other people. There's no new bands. And so is it that Jim Morrison's take that people are able to just be solo artists and that's the flashpoint of creativity, where it's just you and music and you just do what you want? Is the economics of quantization, in other words, you know, having software in front of you where it's just cheaper if you snap it to a grid, and then once you do that, now it's a record label or an individual can just crank out stuff like this? Or is this partly AI? How much of a threat is AI? Is AI going to be the thing that kills the solo stuff? You know, so that's one of the things I'm wondering. Like, okay, well, if the solo stuff is just convenience and people really want bands, nobody can afford to do a band anymore. You know, because of whatever acrimony there is between the members and coordinating and having a studio space and all that stuff. If it's cost-driven that's driving us into solo, then it'll be cost-driven that drives us into AI. That's the thing I'm wondering about. So, do any of those things make sense, or is there another reason I haven't mentioned?
There's no one reason as to why you see something like this, but this has been since I was young. There was always copy bands.
Oh, yeah. But they weren't so popular. Now it's it. That's what people are doing.
When I was 16 years old, I was in a copy band playing clubs.
Yeah, that's how you learn.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
that's how you break out.
Very popular at the time.
Right, yeah.
You know, you didn't go to the local clubs, the local bars to see an original band. You went to see somebody playing. When I was growing up, Eddie with Aerosmith, the Doobie Brothers, Cream, Mountain Hendrix, you know, and of course the popular songs at the time,
right?
The pop stuff. So that's what you went to see, because people pretty much want to be familiar with what they're listening to.
Mm-hmm.
So when you walk in and you hear a band playing Led Zeppelin, or you hear a band playing James Taylor, you know, I mean, for the most part, you know the songs. Right?
Right.
So that's where I believe it comes from. and that's a big business.
And you get all the good feels. The good feels.
Right. Well, you're familiar with the music.
Yeah.
You know, but there are some places that just play original music.
Mm-hmm.
And you go in and you hear original artists, which I love.
Of course, me too. I go to these places.
But you know, the tribute band thing, which is huge now.
Right.
You know, you can see all kinds of tribute.
I think it's objectively huger than ever. That's the argument I'm making. Actually, I could give an anecdotal point that I think might back that up, which is that have you ever seen a global act have a cover band open for them? Because I just saw that a couple of years ago. A local band opened up for Flock of Seagulls, Love Song. And they're cover bands, strictly covers, no originals. I mean, that's a global act. I mean, maybe they only have 2-3 hit songs, but like this is something this is happening. These cover bands are getting momentum, and it's almost like there's like a gap in people's hearts for bands.
It's so easy to put in a band that playing music that the audience already knows, even if it's not their music.
I don't know. It feels to me like it's not just that. It's not just the nostalgia.
What else can it possibly be? I mean, listen, when it comes to the tribute band thing, I've certainly been in a tribute band before, Heart tribute band, which is still to this day very successful.
Cool. I didn't know that.
I'm not in the band for many years, but a great bunch of people. But, I can see more of a need for a tribute band for an act that isn't playing anymore or isn't alive anymore. A good friend of mine who's in the Heart band, Tom Kavanaugh, he has another act that's Johnny Cash experience.
Right.
He does a freaking phenomenal job.
Right.
At the whole bit, with June Cash with him and the band and everything, and it's an incredible show because you can't go see Johnny Cash anymore.
Right.
You got to see something like that if you want it, and he does a phenomenal job. I mean, top-notch job at it.
So you think it's just nostalgia is stronger than ever? You don't think it isn't the lack of bands
being familiar with what they're listening to?
Okay,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, no, I'm not going to underestimate. I've done a lot of nostalgia stuff.
I've played all over the world, or most places in the world. I've seen some of the biggest bands in the world going, on a tour, and they're playing everything off their recent album. People are unhappy because they don't know the album.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point.
Play the hits.
That's an excellent
So
point.
TS went out. What do? We played all of our popular songs.
You got to open with the hits, close with the hits.
Nail it, and they loved it.
Yeah,
they loved it. So, but I've seen other bands, huge bands, flop at these big the mass festival events because they were playing, 12 songs, 14 songs of a new album, and people would, it's time to go to the bathroom and get a beer.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a bathroom song.
The whole show is halftime.
Right.
They're out talking and hanging out.
Right.
It's a headlining band.
Yeah. I mean,
it's people being familiar with what they grew up on and heard.
I've done it. I don't know this song. I have to go. I don't know this song.
There you go.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
There you go.
Super echo on the broadcast tonight. I'm really sorry about that. I don't think it's. We did.
I have a built-in reverb in my voice.
Yeah. There's not even any effects on this panel. I don't even know how that would happen. I could try.
It does strange things.
It does do strange things.
Strange things.
It does strange things. Yeah, I'm really sorry. Yes, you're the second person to complain about the echo, and we're definitely isolated from each other. I can tell by the levels on the multimeter.
I hope so.
Yeah. We got some distance. There's distance here, people.
Silence between us.
I don't know what to. And breaking up. Oh man.
I don't see anything overloaded here.
Yeah,
I don't see any gain structure bad.
Yeah, I mean we're not hitting the red.
Nope, not at all.
And I turned it up a little, to try to result to that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm sorry.
I need a new ionization nebulizer.
Yeah. It might be the Heisenberg compensator is on the fritz. Actually, no, there is.
All you need is a new Gazinta valve.
It's a blinker fluid.
That's not real. Stop.
Muffler berries. Yeah, I'm really sorry. If I interrupt us to figure out what this is, I'm probably gonna shit can the interview. I'm really sorry. I hope I can clean it up after. The best I can tell you is too big back in later. We did do a recording
Right,
ahead of
so
time.
I've got a couple people saying it's super echoey and cracking. My friend's saying right now.
Cracking.
Okay, so not the whole time, for about half an hour now.
For half an hour now.
Thank
Okay.
you, Jackie. I appreciate that.
Oh man, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to try turning us down in the software a bit. Let me know if that helps.
I don't. There's not a lot of options for.
I don't see anything redlining over there.
Yeah, I just turned it down. We were close, but I mean that was by design. So, yeah,
I'm not gonna mess with that.
All right, let me know if that helped. So I did turn the volume down a bit. Hopefully, it was an overload problem.
I'll see if Jackie responds. She's listening.
Yeah. Any one of the
Jackie's
people.
in Texas, so
Yeah.
Hey, cool. All right.
Let's see.
While we wait for the response,
So
on
does that mean, Jackie, you said NP? Is that no problem now? What is it?
let us know if it's better. I hope it's unfortunately, I'm the engineer. Please fix the echo on your show. So I got another one, but I don't know if this is old. Damn it.
Jackie's talking to us in real time. I'll wait for her to respond again. Still echo. She sent it to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be something in the internet side of it. It really does, because I don't see anything wrong here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm guessing that the way people were responding, it wasn't always like that tonight.
Yeah, one thing I can do, echo low, breaking up. So I did turn it down. I'll turn it back up. So that just
Made it worse.
Okay.
All right. So
Oh yeah, now we're peaking. Let me get down just a bit. Okay, how about now? That sounds good.
all right. So I'm gonna maybe I'll.
Do you mind if we stop streaming and then start up again? We have to get all you guys to reconnect. I'm going to try that. I mean, this is just the way it's got to go. I mean, we could call it, but I don't know if you want to keep going.
Just keep going.
Okay.
Still echo, she said. That's 1 minute ago.
Okay, 1 minute ago.
Yeah, that's what Jackie said.
All right. Yeah. Give me a. Why don't you?
What projects of yours have I missed? Let us know about that, and I'll work on the audio while you're doing that.
Well, I have,
better.
besides the songs and old music that I'm working on with my lovely partner there, Marla, I'm working on another project with somebody here on Long Island. Her name is, what do you got going on over there? Michelle Jameson. She was a solo artist. Writes great songs, plays acoustic guitar, and we kind of got together and I started working on her material. And now we have myself, a good friend of mine, guitar player Kenny McCann, and a drummer, Gene Lineski, and her. So there's 4 of us now in the band. And we did one show so far locally. We're doing a few more, and I will list them all on my Instagram page or whatever you want to put it up on Facebook and everything. Jackie just said echo and still cracking.
Right. That's gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't actually fixed it yet. I'm working on it.
She's a great talent. She's a great singer, and I'm working with her also on some stuff, and that's what I'm doing recently. So as far as that type of music, it's myself and Marla, who is extremely talented, writes great songs, and Marla's an amazing vocalist and keyboard player, and she does an incredible job live, whether it's just her solo or playing with a band like I saw this past Friday. She played with some of her friends, and they were also great musicians, great vocalists and stuff. I'll start listing that stuff so we can all go down and see them play. And it's all local to the Long Island area, and of course the same thing with Michelle Jameson. I will start listing when we're playing, where we're playing, and people come out and see it. And it's been a lot of fun. You know, I enjoy working with people who are talented, and don't. And these are not hard rock acts at all. You know, pop. Marlon's a bit of R&B in there, and but it's all great stuff. But have no fear, because I will have a rock band put together this year, some point, and with some famous guys.
Wow, really?
Yes, yeah, we will have something.
I hope you guys heard that. Let me know if that's a little bit better.
See what,
Mic audio.
But
if not,
Jackie's still listening. I don't know if she.
yeah, somebody hit me up and tell me if that improved things. If not, there's another thing I could try too. So, hopefully, fingers crossed here. Oh, maybe this thing. So if I take this,
I can't see it from here, but you're not overdriving anything over there, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. You know what? Maybe it's this. Audio input.
That's not right.
Audio input. It's fixed? It's fixed. All right. Jeff says it's fixed. Thank you, Jeff.
Excellent.
I fixed it. What do you know? See, I told you I was better at multitasking.
What'd you do?
So it looks like the attack with the compressor was messed up. So it's weird. At first I thought maybe the compressor wasn't there anymore. Better. Okay. Wow. What the hell?
Exactly. So you finally fixed something.
Now everybody's on it. It's better. It's fixed.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you so much for the feedback. I appreciate
there you go. That fixed it. Thumbs up.
Nice. Okay.
So so let's get back to we'll return to our normal programming.
Nice. I fucking pulled it off. Hooah. Yeah, so I guess the next thing, I do have a bunch of, I don't know, we want to go heavy or light. So I guess I'm going to go I'm going to go weird. I'm going to go sideways. So one of the things I've been...
Go ahead.
Heavy metal. Like I am very much
talking
into
like the chemical type metal,
yeah,
heavy metal.
yeah, you know, like that particular spot on the periodic table.
Exactly.
No, I'm talking more like Steppenwolf, like Heavy Metal Thunder.
Okay.
You know, like or Ozzy and Sabbath. You know, that kind of that space that you've been in. You weren't always in with everything you've done, but you've definitely been in. You're a metalhead, and I know you love lots of metal bands. We've talked about it. You know, that anger is great fuel. So the thing that I want to know about it is, where heavy metal's been around long enough that there's people of every age that are in the metal. Like that wasn't always true. Like when I was young, I don't think that was necessarily true. But there's long-term, like, I think that what David Lee Roth was saying about metal, and feel free to beat me up and tell me I'm wrong.
I love trashing you.
I know you do. That his take is that metal is about conquest, and that most metal comes. And I think that that's pretty accurate. If you really, and it doesn't have to be conquest of others. It can be conquest of the self, or man versus nature, man versus self, whatever it is. But and it's usually fueled, in my experience, personally, it's fueled by anger. The problem with being angry all the time is it actually, like, this is something that we learned pretty recently, and like I've learned pretty recently. It's news to me, it's in that category. That being constantly angry is it's actually bad for your brain. So most people don't realize that like our brain is actually more like a stack of brains as we evolved. And one of the things that happens is when you're angry, you've got cortisol flooding through your body. And
I don't have blood. I have cortisol.
Yeah, he just has cortisol. Like he's just like. And well, here's the problem. Agreed, me too. And the problem with that is it actually there's two effects I didn't know about. That when you're it's the fight mode. You're ready to battle. You're in battle mode. And the problem with there's two problems. One, besides the fact you can't fall asleep, but the first one is your body will have a reaction sometimes where it will reject that the cortisol and the constant flow, and it actually you almost become like kind of allergic to it for a little while, and then it forces you out of the cortisol state. And usually, how this looks in someone's day-to-day life is they burn out. So they have to take a rest from their job. You know, they the relationship falls apart. Something like they just can't sustain the constant fury. And again, this comes from me looking into PTSD, but it doesn't have to be from that. You could just be angry for whatever reason. And the other one is apparently having your body constantly be in a cortisol state. Thinking that you're gonna be embattled, actually interferes between the neurological signaling between the two hemispheres of your cerebral cortex. So, which ultimately, and
nobody has any idea what you're talking about.
So it affects memory.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. It affects
that. Yes.
It makes it harder to remember things, and it may even be linked to like Alzheimer's or dementia.
Yeah.
So I love anger as fuel. I'm not saying anyone should give that up, but how do you dial it? How do you keep anger as part of your life, but not make it the only thing in your life? Is what I'm getting at.
Because talking about like the secrets of psychology.
Right. But I mean,
how do you do that? I mean, people go to see a psychiatrist or psychologist for many people for most of their lives.
Right.
To try to help them get through whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
Right.
I've never done it.
You've never done it?
No, I just...
Yeah, I've been to therapists.
I just blow something up.
Yeah, and then you're not angry anymore for a while.
I'm just laughing.
So that's how you take a break. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So this is one of the things I was thinking. That's where I go to. The way I get out of anger is humor. So I think that's one of the reasons heavy metal, because heavy metal's a culture. Like I think it's it is clearly a culture, but I think it's a psychopathic cooperative, which is kind of like the Vikings were a psychopathic cooperative. And to put it simply,
Is that why most heavy metal albums look like there's Vikings on the cover?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I think so. It's the same culture. Motorcycle culture, Viking culture, and heavy metal culture are all kind of the same culture. They're all psychopathic cooperatives, and it's all like, we're going to kick ass and take names sometimes, but then we're going to also be comrades and peers and chill some other times. And I think that the way to switch in and out of that mode is laughter. I'm kind of bummed out about this brain information that I learned, the damage that can be done. And I'm like, but this is who I am. I don't want to give that up.
Yeah, well.
Right? Like, I don't want to, even if it's a little destructive. And I think I realized going down that road that there needs to be a way in and out. And it sounds like for you, other than blowing stuff up, but humor, right?
Well, yeah.
Is that the way in and out?
You try to be funny about things. I mean, it's you try to be funny as bad as something might be. Sometimes humor helps, sometimes it doesn't. But I just don't look at things the way the normal people do. I have no reason to want to go see. If I have problems, I don't want to talk about them.
Right.
It doesn't help me. It gets me angrier.
Right. Okay.
Exactly. So I have a way that I can put things away. If I'm not in control of it at that moment, I put it away.
Is that part of what music is for you? Is connecting?
Music is a lot of different things.
Yeah. I mean, clearly,
when I work on a song, all right,
creative stuff is connecting.
When I work with Marla, there's no anger in that at all.
Right.
It's a great feeling of being productive.
Right.
And putting together amazing songs. Same thing with Michelle.
Right.
That's a very satisfying thing that we're getting someplace and we're writing great songs and people performing on them well. And Marla, just the two of us, sit there in her little MIDI studio and we put things together and it's a full song. And, the only thing we need to do is put vocals on it.
So you're in the zone, you're in the flow, and you're just...
It's not even a zone for me. And we joke constantly when we're working together.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have her laughing all the time. But it's very productive. So is it when you're writing a metal song? I'm not angry when I'm writing a metal song either.
Right, cool. Okay.
It comes out a certain way, that's all.
But yes, the stuff sounds pretty angry.
Yeah, well, I got to say that he's a great songwriter, and it does come from some of his, his anger and the life experiences, and some of the music that I right also comes from like.
But no, but
I'm not.
Just because you're saying
I'm not
you're
saying
talking
I'm
about anger doesn't
necessarily
mean you have to be angry when you're talking about it.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true. But it's so funny that you want to analyze this stuff.
Well, no, because
No.
I don't want to like trick you into some kind of
You're not
talk.
tricking me. I'm answering.
Yeah. I don't want to like.
If I thought you were tricking me, I'd unhook your microphone.
Yeah, I don't want to some kind of like talk therapy or something. What I'm trying, I'm talking about my journey. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to.
Why figure it out?
Yeah.
Come on. Why figure it out? Why not just take what you're getting out of that and write great songs and do great performances?
That's what I do.
Yeah. So why
I
try?
get
Because if you
creative.
figure
I just
it
work
out,
on creative
you may
stuff.
pull the plug and it might go away.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay,
take
fair
that
enough.
chance, man. Honestly,
Is that like the
somebody-
most treasured thing? That creativity,
So
that spark?
Look at someone like Billy Joel, who's wrote. Look at his career. He's wrote some of the most amazing songs ever.
I love Billy Joel.
Right? And he hasn't done it in many, many years.
I just covered Always a Woman. It's so fun. Yeah, I love his so. Well, he's angry and snark. His songs are angry and snark.
Right, but look at him. And look, he hasn't put out a new song in how many years?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
maybe,
Linkin Park said this. They said our lives are too good. We don't know how to write anymore. Maybe they talk too much.
I don't feel that way. Not everybody does. Some people do. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't
No,
tell
clearly
you,
not.
but,
Some people just keep going and
Billy
going
Joel's
and going.
not do anything. I just know that, the people I'm working with now and myself, I constantly come up with ideas for songs. And write them down.
Someone's making fun of me like, Matt, analyze? Really? Never.
That's your middle name.
Never. Yeah. The gears are always going. Well,
I think you got some missing teeth on those gears.
Yeah.
Some teeth missing on those
Yeah.
gears. They're not meshing so
The
well.
ratio's not so good. One of them's spinning really fast, the other one's just grinding.
Right.
You know.
Bearings are gone on those.
Just your stuff rattling around, it doesn't matter.
Keep it in your light over
I
there.
don't care. Yeah, okay. So,
All right, next question.
yeah, so, God, I don't know. I guess that's what I got for you, man.
Really? Let's see what we got.
Yeah, I think that's really what I wanted to talk to you about. You did. You know what? You didn't. You kind of didn't answer me. Like, what's the before?
What?
There was the one question I had, which was a practical question, which is in the music realm. How I really want to know, and I think people would want to know, what's the quickest and dirtiest way to protect? This is the stuff I wrote. I want to I don't want anyone. I want to. Somebody wrote a song. They want to put it on YouTube. They don't want anyone to try to steal it or claim it's theirs or. There's plenty of videos out there on YouTube where people are just stealing other people's videos and putting up on their own channel.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah, and it's definitely theft. So,
Well, let me tell you a quick story about something like that, and then we'll get back to your question.
Sure.
When I was in high school, I was writing songs, and I was in a high school band, and there was a couple of originals, and the riff Nirvana has, right?
Yeah.
I wrote that riff. I have a cassette of me being 16 years old, writing that riff and using it in a song. But the song doesn't sound like Nirvana. But can I now go and say I have this tape from 1973 that I have this riff in and they stole it?
Oh yeah. No. I mean that's like domain squatting.
I don't think that they heard this tape. It's never gone anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. It's cool. When I heard the song,
I wasn't thinking.
When I heard the Nirvana song, I was like, wait a minute, I wrote that 45 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
But, so at what point?
It's so weird. I just heard Bowie talking about Nirvana covering "The Man Who Sold the World." I just saw a video of that. That's so weird.
Well, there's if you look at country music, okay, there's two songs out now in country music that. One is a complete rip-off of a Bowie song, and I'm sure that they got the rights to do it. Mm-hmm. And another song is a complete rip-off of a Bowie song. God, I can't remember the name of the song now.
What era?
Oh, God. Two two songs in country that ripped off rock songs, but they got the permission to use it.
Right.
It's not the same lyrics or anything like that, but the music and the melody.
Well, if they haven't published it, no one would have a way to have heard it. So, yeah. I mean, that's why,
So, but that, when I heard them, I'm like, well, doesn't anybody
That's
write
cool,
their own
man.
songs?
Yeah.
You know, they write their own songs.
Great minds.
So, yeah. So, but, so what was the question again?
So how does someone cheap, dirty, but decently effective way to say this is my known
cheap, dirty, or anything? Why don't you do the real route?
Well, what's the real route? Is it expensive?
No, not very at all. If you want to protect what's yours, then get it copywritten. Go on, search it, and find out a way to copyright your song. Because I'm not going to explain the whole thing right here. I know I've done it many times.
You don't need a lawyer, right?
No, you can copyright stuff.
Okay. I mean, I've done the poor man's copyright where I've mailed stuff to myself, but like I don't know how effective that is.
Exactly. If you really want to protect your property, your intellectual property, you got to copyright it.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah, I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No, you're not putting me on the spot. But I mean, if people ask that question, you get it copywritten. Go do it. Do it the right way, and nobody can argue with it.
Right. Because I think that the standard for copyright, it's just like, look, I don't know. But like my vibe, my gut is telling me the standard for what constitutes copyrighted material is going to change in my lifetime. I'm going to see it. And it's not going to be, it just is anymore. There's going to be at least some kind of minimal process. And it's going to resemble the process that's in place now. That's why I was asking, I don't think it's going to be automatic, because I think the cost of it being automatic is going to go up. Because eventually, just being human and just doing, even if it's this craziness, just doing anything that's human that can be recorded and digitized will become valuable.
Why is it that there's been so many copyright court cases, and why do some of them win and some of them don't?
Yeah.
Even though you can hear the music.
Well, some of it settles because
I can hear that.
Yeah.
I can hear that. How about what was that band that they said that sued Led Zeppelin for "Stairway to Heaven"? Was it Spirit?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they said they stole "Stairway to Heaven" from another band that was early on Led Zeppelin, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
They didn't go for it. The courts didn't go for it.
Right.
So I mean, at what point do you say, yeah, it's real or it isn't?
Yeah.
There isn't a defined line.
Right.
With all the court cases, no one said a real precedent like, this is definitely stolen or it's not stolen.
Right. Yeah. So I guess in that case, I mean, like, I could see it going. I could see it switching to some kind of chain of custody situation, right? Where you could prove like here it started. Here's, what I'm saying.
I just realized that's an operating model of your brain up there. That brain.
The one that's
no wonder why
flipping around
and good.
Jumping around. Yeah.
it's shorting out constantly. Look at that. It's shorting out.
Nice. So you still riding these days?
Well, not in this weather.
Well, no. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. I'll always ride. I love
freeze your stuff off.
Yeah. Man, I got a quick story about that. 1978. It was in March, and it was probably, I don't know. The roads were clear. It was 17 degrees out, but we probably had a foot of snow on the ground, and it hadn't snowed in a week or so. But all the roads were clear, and I had just finished putting together my Harley, one of my Harleys, right? And I was like, I'm dying to ride the thing.
Nice.
So I called my friend Bob, my riding partner, who
what model?
West Hampton.
Do you remember what model?
Well, it was a completely rebuilt up.
Custom?
Glide. Yeah, I rebuilt the whole thing from the ground up. Yeah, so painted it, did that whole bit. And I called my friend Bob. I was in West Hampton at the time. Bob lived in Seaford. God rest his soul, a great friend. And so I said, let's meet in the middle at this particular Dunkin' Donuts. We'll share a cup of coffee or hot chocolate, and we'll go home. So I put on everything I possibly can, scarf, leather jacket, a thermal underwear, everything, heavy gloves, big face mask.
I've done it, been there.
And I pull out, and my father's standing there looking at me. My father's looking at me going, what are you doing?
How cold is it?
17 degrees.
What are you doing?
Without the wind chill.
Oh my God!
So the sun is out, but like I said, it's snow on the ground.
You're crazy, man.
So I get on the parkway, right? And I'm just getting on the parkway. And you want to be doing 50 or 60, right?
Right.
I'm doing 40.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm about to
Right,
get
because it's
frostbite.
probably like a negative 10 wind chill at that point.
Oh, I get to exit 18, and I turn around, and I go home. I get inside, it's like I get inside, and I don't like to put my bike in the garage till it cools off a little.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool the minute I shut it off.
Wow.
I'm like I could touch the pipes. So I push it in the garage. I'm frozen, man. I'm frozen. And I walk inside. And my mom's already got the hot chocolate going, My father comes up to me with this big hot chocolate. I go, I gotta call Bob, and he goes, "You think he went?" I said, "No." He's more of a whip than me.
He walked outside.
So I walk in the house. I'm sitting at the kitchen table talking to my father, and the phone rings. Here's my father. Hello. Oh, okay, Bob. He's right here.
I've never heard you lower your voice.
Oh, yeah. My father was like God was talking to me. Oh, without a doubt. Oh, yeah. That's a whole nother story. But he's Bob. So hello, Bob. What's up? He goes, oh, so you didn't make it either. I go, I got one exit, went home. He goes, I never even made it to the Parkway. I turned around, was open. I'm home and you didn't go.
No.
Yeah, and
I'm not doing this.
Oh, wait. Put the bike in the garage, let it cool off, covered it, and didn't start it again until like April.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was already 55 or 60 degrees. I went for a short ride. No, I never did that again.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was just crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I will.
I had no windshield on the
As
bike
a rule, I won't ride if it's below freezing. I will ride in an emergency, like at freezing or a little above, but
no way. I won't even do that.
Because it's just black ice,
Well, but even so, it's just not fun.
That's crazy.
And I had a couple of friends that rode year round, no matter what.
I think people ski on purpose.
Yeah,
They're
right.
doing the same thing, right?
Not me.
They're going to blast down a hill at 70 miles an hour in 20-degree weather.
Oh, no, not me. I've done it.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah.
And I love snowmobiling, but I won't do it because of the cold.
I'm the same way. People tell me they're skiing, I'm like, dude, you're crazy. I'm like, I ride. Riding's not crazy. It's a little crazy. Skiing's crazy. You gotta be like, you're whipping down the side of a hill, and there's just trees flying by you.
But you also got to think, right? You see, you're sitting on a motorcycle, and your legs are here, and for some reason, when you're on skis, you're standing up, so you're wearing much more proper clothing to go down.
Okay.
Those cover suits that zip up, they're one piece, and
Right.
You can't really sit like that on a motorcycle. You can't move. You got to be able to look.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, that's
I hate full helmets. I can't. If I don't have spatial awareness, I can't.
You're
ride,
claustrophobic.
Yeah. I just I'm like, why do I see my cheeks?
Yeah, right. But it's still fun. Yeah, I love riding. I love building bikes, and doing all those things.
I can't wait to
I'm
see.
Still a big guy. I've still got a ton of tools and machinery and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I bet you have an awesome garage. You got the gear.
It's getting there. Yes.
Well, you had a shop, right? At one
still
point,
do.
You still do.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but I mean, you had a public shop that people could come and you would do.
Oh yeah, when I was in business with my friend Ted, we had
Yeah.
a shop. I don't have that anymore. That's been gone a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're like a legit mechanic on top of everything else.
Yeah, I'll tell you a quick story. All right, you ready for a quick story about
Yeah,
that?
hit me.
So
That's what we're here for.
TS back in God, I can't remember what year. Someone's going to have to tell me that we came out with "Come Out and Play" and the single of "Leader of the Pack."
Mm-hmm.
So we're in L.A. filming the video for "Leader of the Pack," and we have to do the video now. In those days, I was the only one who rode a motorcycle. He wasn't on a bike yet. He could ride dirt bikes, but he wasn't on a motorcycle yet. So we had to film this part. The director, Marty Coleman, wanted to film this part in Griffith Park in L.A. That's where they filmed all the 70s and 80s TV shows. It's windy, curvy mountain kind of roads.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they insisted, the band, including me, insisted that I ride because when the camera's on us, you can't put stuntmen in, you'll see their face. Mm-hmm. So we had stuntmen that was physically looked like the other guys in the band. They put wigs on and put colors on, our jackets, and on motorcycles. So, but they didn't think I could ride these these wild, twisty roads going fast.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to give me a road test. Okay. And so I walk over to the bike that I'm supposed to ride, and it's a chopper. It's like a 57 hardtail panhead, big front end. And so they want me to not be able to handle this.
If you don't ride, don't go for a chopper for your first bike.
No, big, long.
It's really hard to control.
I think it was like a 22-inch over.
That rake makes it
couldn't
crazy.
bother me. I rode everything. I built everything.
Yeah.
So I walk over to the bike, ready to go. Got the helmet on, and because in the video we're really not going to be wearing helmets because there's no helmet law in California at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk over, and the guy, I'll take care of this. He goes, "No, you won't be able to start this bike." I go, "No, I can start this bike." So D is standing there, D Snyder, and my co-manager at the time, Phil Carson, is standing right next to me, and D says to Phil, "Watch this," talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy kicks the bike over a bunch of times and won't start. It won't start, right? But I'm looking as he's kicking, and I'm going, okay. I see the short. I can see the spark, in behind something, right?
Right.
I know exactly what's going on there. So he must have kicked this bike like 15 times, and it's hot, so he's soaked in sweat. This is a stunt guy, right? So I said to him, "Give me a Phillips head and some electrical tape." "Oh, now you're going to tell me how to handle my motorcycle?" I said, "Just do it." I get it to run. So they're all watching now. So it comes over. I take the coil cover off, and they had the ignition switch into the coil cover, which was a big thing back on choppers then. Mm-hmm. And I could see that one terminal was touching the coil cover. It was sparking.
Yeah.
So I went in there and taped it up and tightened it down, put the coil cover back on, and he comes over. I go, "No, give me a shot at the title." Hit the ignition. I mean, it was already primed.
Right.
Boom, the thing just came alive. And they're all looking around. And he goes, "See, I told you." He's talking to Phil, right? So I go, "Should we get this done? Let's go, guys," right? So they explained to me we're going to go around this mountain thing. And then you can see everything we're doing. We're going to come around this bank turn. And you're going to make a U-turn on the banked part of the turn.
Right.
And come back. Okay, no problem. "Oh, really?" "Yeah, no problem. Let's do it." So we go, right, and they all try to leave. So 3 of them left before me. Mm. And then I take off and I catch up. And every little turn we had, I drop it down a gear and I pass somebody. And now I'm in the front, right? And they showed me the spot. So I pull up there real quickly, right? And they come up, and I can't believe they did this. I was waiting to see what they were going to do. They pointed the front wheel down, okay, on the banked part of that. You would point the front wheel up and use gravity to go backwards and your clutch to go forward. Right. Now they're pulling the bike backwards. So I did it the other way. I went vroom,
so it wants to tip.
Yeah. So vroom, I turn the bike around and I leave before all of them, and I get back and I shut it off, and they're just coming back now. And they were like, "Well, why did you do it that way?" I said, "Well, you're fighting gravity. I'm using the engine to pull us up and make a turn." And I had to make like a 6-point turn with that long front end.
Right. Maybe they like it and sweaty.
And they were like, "Okay, you passed the test." I mean, it was just like, people just because you're a musician, they don't think you know how to wrench and make things work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's some dummies out there, but not you.
No. I mean, I make things work. Another story, quick story for you. When I was in the Dictators.
Yeah.
And we had played New Year's Eve from 75 to 76. We opened up for oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember this now. It's embarrassing. In Kalamazoo, Michigan. Oh man. Wow. Anyway,
the Dictators, Kalamazoo,
Michigan. We were in a coliseum there, opening up for. It'll come to me. But anyway, so when we get out of the show that night, it was New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. We get out of the show, and there's already like 8 or 10 inches of snow on the ground, and it's a blizzard. And we make it back in the van. We have a van and an equipment truck. We make it back to the hotel in Kalamazoo. Mm-hmm. And do
you have a big crew, or is it just like a band and a couple guys?
No, there was 3 guys on the crew.
Okay,
sound man and 2 guys on stage.
In the middle. Okay.
Yeah. So and anyway, we're all back in the hotel, and you wake up in the morning figuring we're going to drive back to New York, and everything is closed. I mean, it's just snowed in.
Yeah.
And it's coming down, so obviously we're not leaving that day. So we stayed an extra night, and an extra night after that, and finally they opened up the Ohio Turnpike, and we're driving back, and we get on, and all of a sudden, everything's got gas in it, and the equipment truck dies. An old C-30 Chevy, like 72 chassis,
Right.
I mean, an old vehicle with a box on it.
Right.
And the guy pulls it over to the side, and there's no sides. It's like 1.5 lanes wide, and he pulled it into a snowdrift. So he comes running back to me. He goes, "It just died." I said, "All right, I'm on my way." Now I wasn't dressed for a blizzard. I had a leather jacket, a T-shirt.
Right. You're dressed for a show.
And crappy leather gloves. So I go out
Were they
there.
fingerless?
I go out there and I just, they're now sitting in the van.
Yeah.
Right? I'm by myself, so I get out there and it cranks over, but it's not firing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, those days it's easy. There's no computer. If you got fuel and it's being pumped,
Got fuel and air, it runs.
And you got a spark, it runs. So I pulled one of the plug wires off and stuck a screwdriver in it, and it's getting a spark. And hit the throttle. It's not getting a spark. And I hit the throttle, and the accelerator pump's pushing gasoline in it. So all right, no spark, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I look at the points, and they're worn out completely. I mean,
Right.
the points are like bad shape. So
Right,
I go back and I ask Richie T.
The distributor cat's like chewed off.
Richie T has his wife with him at the time, and I go, "You got a memory board? Anybody got a matchbook?" Everybody smoked back then, not even me. But so I get that, and I go, because you had to adjust the distance between the points.
Right,
it's about the thickness of a matchbook cover.
Right,
so
right.
I clean them off with
Business
the
card,
emery
yeah.
board, right? Clean them off with the emery board, put everything back. It is freezing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the wind is howling, the snow is everywhere. And I go in and I reach in the truck, and it starts. I'm like, great. So I get back in the van. I go, truck's running. Go, let's get out of here, And they get it out of the snow, and we keep going. And they're like, well, what was it? And I said, well, the points, we're going to have to get this truck, the tune-up done on this thing. He goes, you just did it. I said, this might get us home, but it should get us out of here. Your points are shot, man.
We might need to buy a part.
Yeah, we might need to.
I know we're low on money, but come on.
No, I mean, we might need to buy a set of points, but who knows what's going to be open around it. But we made it back to New York.
If you have not worked on classic cars, points are not expensive. You just have to do it.
It was like $2.75.
Yeah.
Points.
Just a little metal thing.
And it was the same one in every GM distributor.
Yeah.
So emery board, a matchbook. Let's get out of here, man. I was frozen solid, man. I'll never forget that. But yeah, you do things
Rock
like that.
and roll MacGyver over here.
But you can't do it to new vehicles, with all the computerized stuff in it.
Well, you know what? It's fucking bullshit, man. You actually could. You couldn't. They don't have points, obviously, but you could hack them. We can't hack them because we can't get the code, because the company doesn't want to give the code, because they're like, "Ooh, maybe we'll have a disadvantage then." And
that's a whole nother show, my friend.
Yeah, man, right to repair. It's not okay.
A whole nother show.
Well, Chrysler's in a bad spot. I'm glad you brought this up. This is cool. Chrysler's in a bad spot. They just released a charger, their first electric charger. It's funny. It sounds like I'm saying electric, like the car, the charger, that line of cars, they now have an electric version of it, because that's the future. That's the hot rod, because they can't meet the government regulations with the gas. So, and my comment on it was really simple. If I can't change the software, it's not a hot rod, because hot rods, you could fix it up. The whole point of a hot rod is to make a sleeper. So everyone's like, "Oh, I know how fast that car is." No, it's not. If it's an appliance, everyone knows exactly how fast. It takes the fun out of it. So yeah,
then it just comes down to driving skills.
So really, I think I long for a world where you could just sit down, you plug your computer in, you can hack it. But we can't do that yet. But there's no reason we can't do that. So we should get there.
Yeah, but you can't. They're not going to let us do that.
They gotta.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, it is another show. Hey, man, I think we ran the gauntlet. Thanks for those stories. I appreciate it.
Oh man, I got
and thanks
a million
for coming
stories,
on,
my friend. A million stories.
Do you like the new digs? Do you like?
I do. I think it's a great spot. It's easy to get to.
Right.
And
it's pretty safe. It's comfortable.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of where we used to do the show at my place.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I like that. It's a good feel.
Well, thanks so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Any last questions? Anyone? I got a message from someone. I'm just going to check it.
We'll check that message out. Anyway, let me just start saying good night to everybody. I thank everybody for tuning in, and everybody on the chat.
Yep. No,
Jackie, thanks for helping us out. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Marla, I hope you're enjoying the rest of Florida if you're still watching, and Michelle. We'll get together next week. We got a whole bunch of stuff to work on, and don't forget, I've got a Rock in a Hard Place every Sunday night. A 94 point. Actually, it's not called that. It's 94.3. The Shark. Okay, great Long Island radio.
Yeah, ham radio is coming out this is the exact frequency.
Yeah, well, it's 94.3 The Shark, and my great friends Rob Rush and Billy Mira on the show with me, and that's going to end up being a great show. It already is. We're having a ball with it, and it's great. It's a 2-hour show every Sunday night, right? So I'm going to test you again, okay? It's 94.3 The Shark every Sunday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? New York time. So you can look it up, look up 94.3 The Shark, and listen to the station on the internet, okay? Stream it. That's the way it goes if you can't hear it. We greatly appreciate it. But tune in, and you'll be able to write to us and give us your opinions or ask questions to the guests that we have on and stuff like that. So
excellent.
Just like being here.
Yeah, I'm totally into it, man.
Yeah, awesome. Hopefully in the near future I'll be able to put my show back on, and we'll do that also right from here.
Sounds good. I'd love to be on your show.
You're going to be.
All right, excellent.
I don't have a choice, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, and I'm glad you got to come on here, and people got to see that there's a lot of depth to Mark, not just in the realm of creativity and music, but in all life, man. I mean, I love talking. You have no idea how many amazing talks we had after the shows on Area 22. Just sitting there shooting the breeze for hours on end, talking.
Some of it I can't talk about.
Need to know, but
you don't need to know.
Talking.
But yeah, we've
talking tech, talking music, talking, roughhousing.
I mean, not many people know the depth that I know about the workings of computers and software and things like that. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. 3 times a month on this channel. Please subscribe and give it a like if you had a good time. And I'll see you guys for the next show. Stay tuned. You know how to find me. And choose wisely. Choose to share. Good night, everyone.
Good night.